Looks like good gear, Mike. As a landing gear designer, my heart melts every time I see that gear come out. I think it's beautiful.
And this is a really special landing gear, isn't it?
It is. It's bespoke for XB1. It was a custom gear.
Yeah. It's
So we're probably about a 6 mile from landing now. I would expect that LSO to take over the comms here momentarily. And that'll be exciting to listen to. So let's listen into the LSO comms.
Yeah, I just want to mention we have 2 LSOs who have supported us on this mission. Zach Pleiss, call sign Sprite, again a former naval aviator, and Charles Wickware, call sign Wignut. I believe we're going to hear Charles on the comms today, would be my guess. But both of them are here today. It's a big flight, and obviously, you know, we all want to be a part of it. So what we'll be listening for is Paddle's contact in a very nice, calm, friendly voice.
And then you'll hear Paddles giving advice to Geppetto about being on glide path, on center line, or maybe even slightly above, or slightly below, or slightly left, or slightly right. And Geppetto's got enough experience flying XB1 and the XB1 simulator. He's got many, many hours.
Hundreds of landings.
Yeah.
So he'll be really familiar with this. So it's just an additional piece of assistance for him to get the right approach path and the right speed.
Yeah, XB1 is a test aircraft, and so this is a brand new system. There it is. We'll listen in.
Headwind 79. Strong glide slope, strong center line. That's 1.8.
So you have glide slope center line and test given the 1.8 fuel call.
You're a little high, but looking down, you're on center line.
And you can see there like a difference between the angle of attack of XB1 versus the Mirage next to it.
A little high coming down on center line.
Like those airplanes are flying the same speed, both in the same descent, and one of them is substantially nose up.
High coming down on center line.
That high angle of attack, a characteristic of the Ogive Delta wing. Concorde had a high landing angle of attack.
Very similar to that.
Approaching glide slope, you're on center line. There's glide slope, you're on center line. On glide slope, on center line. On glide slope, on center line, 50 feet. On center line, 40. On center line, 30. 20, 10, 5, 3.
And she's down right on the numbers. Absolutely beautiful. Right on the numbers, right on the center line. And I'm going to turn around and watch her roll out down the runway. What a beautiful sight, and what a really successful day.
Good brakes.
Awesome. Getting a little bit of a flyby from the T-38 and the Mirage F1. And so XB1, yeah, we'll continue the rollout down the runway here. You heard the good brakes call, which always gives Nick a bit of relief, being the brakes guy at one point in time. But Geppetto will take it really easy. He'll roll it down the runway and just let the speed bleed. But we do have to clear the runway because we have 2 other aircraft to recover here. Both of the chase planes expect to be landing here.
And of course, things aren't over yet. Although we're landed, there's still quite a bit to do, isn't there?
That's right. And so we heard the call out there briefly before Geppetto was getting configured for the landing of approach speed of 170. We actually update that. Given the weight of the aircraft, there's a different speed that we land at, and so the control room will back Geppetto up on that. I mean, he greased it on. Geppetto has made it look easy every single time he's landed. This is his 11th landing. In the real XB1, of course, hundreds of landings in the simulator to prepare for it. So Geppetto's going to roll to the end of the runway, and he's going to turn left onto taxiway Alpha and come back, and he should actually park right behind us here at this desk, maybe about 5 minutes from now or so. After that, there's a standard checklist that he'll execute to safely and properly shut down the airplane. And after that, you'll see the crew chief, Kurt, will probably, and his team will swarm the aircraft, perform a series of inspections on the airplane, make sure everything looks good. You'll also see somebody connect a data cable, an Ethernet cable, right in there to the side of the airplane. And that's the most important part right there. After the safe landing is assured, it's all about, show me the data. We just collected some really valuable data, and I can't wait to get my hands on that data. The entire control room team is going to spend several days poring over the data that we collected here during today's flight, and they're going to be checking the actual performance that was demonstrated against what our models predicted and how we expected it to fly. And it's really the confirmation of our tools that enabled us to predict the performance of a supersonic airplane, validated against actual flight test data that's the whole point of doing flight tests right there, is to prove that your ability to design and build and predict how an aircraft is going to perform, that's actually true. And so we've got our litmus test here today, our proof data that we'll use to inform future efforts on Overture.
And of course, in the airline world, after you've landed, it's important to get to the terminal as quickly as possible, get your customers disembarked. You don't want to be wasting time, but it's not quite like that today, is it, Greg?
No.
I mean, for a start, we've got to get down to a minimum fuel, but there are other things that need to be done.
Yeah, and so we choose to get down to a minimum fuel. It makes it easier on the maintainers. It makes it easier to turn the airplane around. But yeah, again, like we said, we go through this checklist just like we do prior to flight and in the pre-flight and even in flight. There is an after-landing checklist, and as Nick said, it's just about making sure the airplane is properly configured so we can do the things that we need to do and really get this airplane turned around in short order for our next mission, which hopefully will be if we don't see anything that needs to be rectified.
XB1 can be safely operated at supersonic speed. Our data review process will confirm that after we've checked everything. And then what we're actually planning to do is to get some really spectacular imagery of an aircraft in supersonic flight. The details will be announced on that pretty soon, but what we're looking to do is actually capture some special type of photography called Schlieren imagery, and that allows us to actually visualize the shock waves that are coming off of XB1 while it's supersonic. That's what's in store for our next flight.
And you can see the video pictures of XB1 taxiing in, and we can hear her here. Yep. And shortly we'll be able to see her coming in, and here she comes. Let's just watch XB1 taxiing in. And Geppetto's parked her right on the numbers, right outside the hangar here. And as you can see, or we can see here, people are gathering the cameras, video cameras. They're all coming back from the park line where they were watching the flight. A drone flying past the aircraft to give really good views of the whole aircraft. And I think I actually caught a smile there from Geppetto at that very moment.
And you can see the ground crew just getting to work, immediately securing the aircraft. Again, we want to maintain this as a healthy test asset, obviously. They'll do another inspection. So engines are off right now, mercifully. A little bit quiet out here, but they're going to do a walk around of the aircraft to make sure, see if there's anything that they need to get a start on before the next mission. And yeah, they're on their way over there. I think this actually is going to conclude my portion of the broadcast, but I do want to. I have a couple of thank yous that I want to say first. Mike, incredibly appreciative of you coming out and spending your time with us here today and participating in this event. But not only that, obviously you've been an advocate for this mission and a friend of this company for an extremely long time. And you've been super helpful in just, you've given your time to us, and I can't thank you enough for your participation. I also want to thank Blake. Obviously, without Blake giving us the opportunity, trusting in us to do this mission, none of this would be possible. And so I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Blake Scholl and Boom Supersonic. So incredibly thankful for, again, like I said, his trust in us and providing us this opportunity to go out and do what we did today. I want to thank a whole bunch of folks who participated in this program. We've been working on this plane for a long time, and there's members of the team who made significant contributions to the aircraft who are not able to join us today. And I really just truly want to say thank you to them, and I hope that they understand the impact that they've had and can feel a part of the success and in celebration that that we're going to have here. And then lastly, it's been a long time. We've had a lot of families.
Oh, thanks very much indeed, Greg. I know how heartfelt that is. I'm just being here for a few days this week, seeing the bonding between the teams and how really proud you are and how really proud they all are of what's been achieved today. It is a wonderful team achievement and a great pathway to Overture aircraft. Overture, the planned supersonic airliner of the future. And it's planned that she will be rolled. The super factory that's in North Carolina is already built, and we'll start moving towards launching of the aircraft in around about 18 months' time. The engine to power it is scheduled to be run for the first time this year, and we're on a real strong pathway to